Hello, everyone. I'm Sam. You're listening to Sam's Story Podcast. Just a few more episodes, and we'll reach our 100th podcast. Wow, Sam started making podcasts a few years ago. Probably since the pandemic, you know. That's actually been about 4 or 5 years, quite a while, huh? This is already episode 94. Indeed, if we keep striving on a long journey, there will always be something to remember, memories to cherish. Recently, in episode 93, it's time to accelerate. Many of you showed your support and agreed. You shared that same feeling. You can listen to that episode to feel the energy. At the same time, I also understand that quite a few of you worry about what if this entire life isn't brilliant. What if, no matter how hard you try, you don't succeed? Wouldn't it all be for nothing? Then there are many of you who are quite self-conscious and don't feel capable enough to even begin. Oh, everyone else perhaps, but surely not me. I just listen, but how could I possibly be capable of change? Sam understands that things aren't always easy. And today, I want to share with you that even if this whole life isn't brilliant, there are certain values you will have gained after a period of effort. What are they? This morning, around 7 a.m., I was podcasting. I woke up, spontaneously sat down, and looked at the sky, the land, the clouds, and then out at the river where boats were passing by. Looking at my current life, I remembered my struggling student days. Just like everyone else, just like you, I was born and raised in an ordinary family in central Vietnam, then moved to the city to study and work. Coming alone to a big place like this is very normal for me now, but for the little girl I once was, it felt like an act of courage. And if you ask if Sam had a brilliant youth, I feel it was absolutely brilliant, extremely brilliant. Even though, I haven't won any awards. I've been working in my field, doing YouTube for 7 or 8 years, but awards usually don't come my way. Sam isn't brilliant enough to reach for those awards. At the same time, I don't really care much for those awards. Because perhaps the greatest reward is having people still listening to this podcast, still striving to change every day, still accompanying Sam on this journey of growth. Changing someone's life? That's probably a value Sam never thought she could achieve. It's too grand. But if you look at it from a media perspective, an awards perspective, Sam isn't a brilliant person. I'm just an ordinary content creator, nothing too special. My content is always about self-development, and many people find it boring, lacking much transformation or change. But for Sam, the hardest thing is to chart my own path and still have an audience that resonates with it. If I were to completely change my style, turning into something purely entertaining to appeal to more people, it might not necessarily be the right path for me. Sam thinks that even the brands that want to collaborate with me might see something beyond just fame, many views, or high engagement, because Sam isn't exactly super famous with millions of views or thousands of comments like other celebrities. But if you ask how Sam has felt over the past 7 or 8 years, how has Sam changed? I think I've upgraded myself hundreds, even thousands of times compared to who I used to be. And I've lived a very, very brilliant life for myself because I've tried so hard. Even though my efforts might not have led to being top tier or extremely famous or widely recognized with many awards. But for me, it's been a whole journey where if you imagine me as a little girl covered in dust, clothes full of dust, hair full of dust, then over time, every day of effort and striving is a day of washing clean, becoming fresher, smelling sweeter. It might not be brilliant and sparkling yet. But I feel happy because, over time, each layer of grime, each layer of dust clinging to me has gradually diminished. If you ask about the value of effort, the value of good habits, Sam believes it brightens your spirit and intellect, making you more aware of yourself, understanding yourself better. And from there, you no longer obsess over the brilliance you once craved. You no longer yearn desperately for awards or recognition from others. Sam once heard a little story about a child who diligently read books every day. One day, the child asked his grandfather, "Grandpa, I read books every day, but I mostly don't understand them, and when I close the book, I forget everything. What's the point of reading like that?" The grandfather didn't rush to answer, but told the boy to take a basket, fill it with water, and bring it back to him. The child tried many times, but how could a basket hold water? So even though he went back and forth many times, he couldn't bring any water back. It was then that the grandfather smiled and said, "Now, look at the basket." At this point, the child realized the basket was now much cleaner than it was originally. So what's the lesson here? When people read, Even if they don't fully understand it or remember everything, they will naturally change themselves. What they learn from books will be stored in their subconscious. That's a story Sam finds very good and very true. Many times we think we don't understand or remember, but anything done repeatedly will eventually become a part of us. So it is with our daily efforts. Sometimes, trying hard isn't necessarily about becoming brilliant, but about clearing your mind, finding the right path, and choosing what truly suits you. The greatest happiness is understanding yourself and knowing contentment. Just those two things alone are immense happiness, immense success, my friends. Many people stand at the peak of fame and in that very moment feel empty. They thought they had achieved success, that they had reached their most brilliant happiness. But what comes next? They lose the motivation to strive. They feel as if everything just stops there and suddenly life feels meaningless. They never truly understood themselves. They merely chased society's expectations, believing that as long as society recognized them, they would be successful. Sam, in the past, used to think that way too. Of course, primarily it was to make my parents happy. Parents are happy when people praise their child, right? When you're praised, when others acknowledge you, and those words reach your parents, they'll be so happy and proud. After a while now, whether someone praises me or criticizes me, I feel happy either way. Overall, Sam feels that what others say about me in this life is no longer that important. At this moment, I'm very much focused on myself and how I connect with this world. Everything I've strived for, from back then until now, has only been to cleanse my mind over time, so I can truly develop further by perceiving the world more accurately and understanding myself. All these efforts, from beginning to end, were not for brilliance. It was quite accidental that I entered this profession and suddenly gained many followers. That wasn't my original intention. I just saw that this could be a job I liked because I love freedom. That's the first thing. Secondly, it would give me an opportunity to earn money. Novel, freedom to earn money. That's cool, but Sam never considered the weight of fame, the burden of having many followers, and how much my words could influence people. And it turns out to be quite troublesome, Fame, reputation, all of it sometimes brings more trouble. Of course, alongside that, it also brings a lot of money. That's the truth. It depends on the value we bring. So now, over time, Sam feels that when we talk about it's time to accelerate, it's not about staying up late and waking up early just to work, not about sleeping only 2 hours a day just to toil away. Instead, it's about truly focusing, being mindful, and asking ourselves questions about our own self-development. Sam sees many of you still staying up late, still waking up early, but it's to watch movies. You stay up late watching movies and don't feel tired, but staying up late to work? That's tiring, isn't it? Sometimes we don't truly understand what we're doing, what our mission is, whether we're truly serious about ourselves. Many times you think accelerating means running around frantically, going crazy now. But instead, we should take time to sit down more quietly, to reflect on everything we are currently doing. Mindfulness is what truly matters. You will know that now you need to find balance in your body, mind, and spirit. If you only stay up late to work, your body will get tired. You'll learn to balance better, to recharge yourself after a good night's sleep so you wake up tomorrow full of energy to start a new day. When you understand that this acceleration helps you gain greater clarity within yourself, becoming wiser, then you will truly cherish the opportunities you have, loving and valuing your work. That thing you used to always feel was too much pressure, too exhausting. Didn't it bring you money and opportunities to develop your abilities? If you always pushed work onto others, then once you gain clarity, once you grasp the message, you will be the one to embrace tasks, you will be the one eager to take on many things so you can develop, upgrade, and bring value. What we truly need is mindfulness and genuine self-reflection. The brilliance we truly need is the illumination of our minds, not the brilliance that others gaze upon as merely a decoration or some form of entertainment. Sam often tells you not to idolize me. Idolize yourselves. Value and love yourselves. I feel that I love and cherish myself the most, and I will learn from everyone around me, from the people I admire, the people I cherish, to see how I can improve myself rather than going crazy for anyone else. I don't overly idolize anyone. Right now, Sam doesn't have any specific passions, aside from a passion for experience. As I record this podcast, Sam remembers a song. I can't recall its name, but I remember a part of it. Youth is like the clouds in the sky. How to have a wonderful use. The answer is nowhere to be found. Time just passes by, out of reach, then will fade in life. How to have a wonderful use. To once shine brightly, sparkling, like fireworks soaring through the sky. It's okay if we're not glorious. It's okay if we're not steadfast. Life isn't easy for many. To find glory, to become a shining star. As long as there's still a place to return to. A stop for us to come home. A warm smile, hands embracing a shoulder. Welcome home, fireworks. I apologize, everyone, but I don't know why every time I sing this song, I get a little emotional. I remember that time when Sam was in England and heard this song. I sang and cried simultaneously. Don't worry, these aren't tears of sorrow, but tears of pride. Feeling happy and proud of the youth I've lived through, and feeling compassion for myself during all those lonely, striving years of youth. Now, Sam also feels a lot of empathy for the many young people out there who are striving. Sam knows you're facing a lot of pressure in life, many difficulties, but please always trust yourselves and keep moving forward. Whether you shine brightly or not, you will always have a place to return to. That could be your family, the people you love, or it could be yourself, a place to come back to return to your true self. Everything we go through is to illuminate ourselves, not to shine brilliantly for others to see. That's the final thing Sam wants to say in this podcast episode. And Sam truly hopes that those strong hearts out there will continue to believe and continue to move forward, because you can do it. Thank you all very much for listening to today's podcast, and I'll see you in the next episodes.